Okay, so I need to just get this over and done with because I keep procrastinating it. Basically, I'm making a game. First, gotta make the project file. Then I make the character C++ file by going up to tools and then choosing character. Then I can give it a name and its own folder. And we can begin to make the blueprint file for our character, which you can see me do right now. Then I set the parent class to the class we just created in C++. Now I'm going into the game animation sample project to get some animations for the game. I'm not using motion matching for this project because it's just way too complicated and I'm literally one guy. So I choose all the files I want to transfer and I move them to the content folder on the project that I want them in. I'm moving the GASP player model and using that since a lot of the animations are coming from GASP. Now I can go into my character blueprint and set the skeletal mesh of the character to the GASP model. So you can see the blue arrow is where the character will be facing when you play with him. So we got to orient the model to the right direction. And then we're going to have to lower it down to the right height so that the feet are touching the floor. Then I compile and save, and I go back to my C++ file to add a camera and a camera boom and attach it to the character. And then I can adjust the height and the length of the camera boom. Then I create the input actions and the input mapping context for looking and moving around. And now I can move around, but I can't look around because I completely forgot to set the look around input action in the character blueprint. But now you can see I'm moving around and looking around, but the character doesn't have any animations, which I will change soon. But first I'm going to test the multiplayer functionality. And as you can see, it's working perfectly fine. So we'll get to that now. Back in the game animation sample project, I'm looking for an idle animation and a walk animation and a run animation. And we're going to make a 1D blend space for this using all these animations. So back in our main project, I can choose my skeleton for the animation blueprint that we're going to make. We can do the same thing for our 1D blend space. So on one end, we put the idle, and then on the other end, we'll put the running, and somewhere in the middle, we'll put the walking. And then we can use our character speed to determine which animation to actually use at which time. Now back in our character blueprint, we can set our animation blueprint to the one we just created. Now when we test it, we can see that it's working, but as I turn the mouse, the entire character turns as well. So we set orient rotation to movement to true and use controller rotation yaw to false. And then it should be working fine, except I've got tank controls because I implemented movement wrong. So I changed my implementation and now it's working just fine, as you can see. Now I'm making an input action for jumping, setting it to my blueprint. Now you can see that the animation is way off in terms of timing because I'm using a full animation, which needs to be cut up into bits. And now after I've cut all the animations up, you can see that the timing is a lot better. It's not perfect, but it's a work in progress, so we can deal with it. Now I'm creating the child class for my weapon, and I need like a mesh for the weapons. So I'm creating a Lyra sample project, and I'm going to use the weapons from there. Here's what it looks like. Now I can make a blueprint, and I can base it off the weapon C++ class that I just created. So far, all it has is a skeletal mesh and an area sphere for picking it up. So we'll center the area sphere to the middle of the gun and make it a bit bigger. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as I've gotten so far. I don't really have anything else to show you right now. I'm going to keep working on this and put out another video. But bear with me because I'm still getting used to editing videos and recording my own voice and stuff. So if you want to see where this project goes from here and you want to stay updated, subscribe to the channel and I'll try to put out another video as soon as I possibly can.